Hey everyone, welcome to the Bible Belt Bros podcast. Today's a fun day. We are hanging out with HypetheHusky. He is a Fortnite Twitch streamer. He plays the video games for the children of the world, and he does it with a purpose to spread God's love, to spread positivity. And so we are just so glad to have him on here just to talk a little bit about the importance of streaming, what that actually means, because I don't think a lot of parents understand what all goes on with streaming. It's more than watching somebody else play a video game that you bought them for $60. There's a lot more to streaming than you realize. And so we're going to hang out with that. But before we start that interview, I want to just let you know, if you haven't seen it already, we started putting some podcast episodes on the YouTubes as well. And so you can go search Bible Belt Bros podcast. And if you want to find the first episode, just hit Bible Belt Bros porn. Because, that's why not start with pornography as our first episode. It's already got some dislikes. And I thought, I haven't told you guys on the podcast yet that we actually are starting this for fun. There'll be some of the same content, but mostly it's kind of topics or more Andrew and I playing different games and such and just kind of hanging out, a little extra content than what we would normally have on the podcast. So check it out, Bible Belt Bros on YouTube. There's also, if you go like us on Facebook, there is some links on the Facebook to the YouTube. It's all there. So just go look it up. Give us a like, give us a subscribe, just trying to help find new avenues of reaching to other people, and we think YouTube would be one of those that is going to help us tremendously. So, we're also terrible at marketing, which is why there's only a few downloads of a podcast right now on YouTube. So help us out by subscribing to that. But before we get all into that, let's just go ahead. Have fun. Let's talk to HypetheHusky. Full disclosure, I recorded this a long time ago, and I just got into a little rut of not wanting to edit podcast episodes. So I do apologize, Hype, if you actually listen. I apologize it took me so long, but this guy is one of the real ones. He's got a Discord giving out prayer requests and chats to all the people outside of streaming. It's a whole nother level there. So my dog just farted, so I'm just going to go ahead and deal with that, and you guys listen to the episode. So, all right, man, welcome to the stream.
Hey, it's good to be here.
You don't have to talk in your...
I mean, you'd be surprised at how normal this is. Like, to be entirely honest, I put absolutely zero effort into who I am on stream. I'm not even
Really?
joking.
You're just that insanely crazy. Like,
in all seriousness... Like, I never feel like I'm, like, adding to it. Okay, maybe if someone, like, gives a big gift or something, I'm like, what? But, like, besides just that craziness, like, it's honestly, I don't know how not to do it.
I don't stream as much as you. Like, I'll just throw that out there. Like, it's been quite a while since I've had a consistency of streaming.
It is tough.
But it is a tough life, man. And what got you into streaming?
Well, I used to be a youth pastor and worked at youth camps a while back, and I saw the unique opportunity that Twitch had. There's just a gigantic, I mean, you could even use the word unreached group of people on Twitch. Like, that's so unique to being in Mississippi where, everyone at least has heard of Jesus in the Bible. On the Twitch stream, there's just countless people that just have no clue what Christianity is and even think of very wrong conclusions of just things they've seen online of what it means to be a believer. And so it's just a very huge and unique opportunity to reach just brand new people that the Lord wants to reach.
You started it with the mission-mindedness behind it, is that?
Oh yeah, and I'd say without that, there'd be no purpose to it, I'd just be playing games if it weren't for that. I mean, I might as well go back to being youth minister, something like that, I don't want to waste my time here.
You're not doing this as a full-time thing, right? You got a real job?
Well, in the very beginning...
Some people...
In the very beginning... I did this literally full-time on top of my real job, and let's just say that's not sustainable long-term. But yes, I have I teach tennis in real life, and whenever I'm not teaching tennis, I'm streaming, which is still a good bit.
Okay, yeah. And those tennis is kind of your own schedule-ish or not, you know, you got some freedom.
Yeah,
there,
I mean, I wouldn't say my own schedule just because, you know, like kids are in school and stuff at you after school, so I can't just set my lessons anytime, but it does allow for enough free time to stream. And I say that just because, like, my peak hours on streaming, if I could stream when I teach tennis, I would love that. It'd grow so much faster, but, you know, I gotta work. I gotta make a living.
Yeah, you got to get some money. I mean, you do get donations and such, but
yeah.
Especially, how long have you been streaming?
It's been, I think, 9 months. We started the stream on November 15th.
Okay, so yeah, you're still a baby when it comes to actually making donations and in that.
Yeah, I would say this:
Twitch partner.
If I try to live on what I get from Twitch alone right now, I would go broke really, really fast. Now, that being said,
maybe,
but that being said, I have had this crazy generous people give literally like around $500 and stuff. Like, it's just absolutely crazy. But it's kind of funny just because some of the kids will come by and say, "Whoa, Taco, you must be so rich!" And it's like, well, divide that over 9 months and think about what an adult needs. I mean, to them, you know, $100 is like, man, you have 10 times the amount of money that I do. They're just not the concept
right. And I think with podcasting and streaming, it's kind of a long-term game. Like, there are those streamers who have been doing it for 5 years or so that they're getting 10 donations, you know, an hour of like $5. So that's a lot of money but you have to be live streaming to get those donations. But yeah, it's a long-term game. The bigger the following, you know, the percentage of people giving is going to pretty much stay the same.
Yeah, and I think it's helpful to look at that and just, it's like, it's literally only, in my opinion, what I see, only the top streamers that get that. Because, like, just look on any single game category, within 1 to 5 channels, the view count drops tremendously. So, now, that being said, there's plenty of people who I think can make a full-time living if they have 100 or more people. But not like just the crazy money that some streamers get.
Well, and some of it matters on the age that they're reaching as well, whether or not they have their own credit cards.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I'll put it this way. If I wanted just the money, I would never stream Roblox. It's like, exactly. I started on like probably the poorest, if you can use that word, group on Twitch. Like, I'm just talking about in terms, you know, vast majority of the kids. Like, you know, I'm way more concerned about them using their parents' money than, like, thinking they'll actually give something.
That's the benefit of doing it as a mission-minded thing, is you're not, if the money came in, you could do it more, that would be great. If you could build a channel where...
No, if I could do this full-time instead, of course I'd do that. But, I mean, like, it's also being realistic, too.
Exactly. And, again, that comes with time. I mean, you're very entertaining streamer. I couldn't do it because you're so charismatic all the time. It's hard to be on all the time like you are. And I'm pretty chill, but I do act because I have a face cam. We're talking to parents here, right? So you don't have a face cam when you stream. You actually have a picture of a dog.
A picture of a dog? Wait, well, do you not think I'm a real dog? I'm just kidding. Now, one thing I will say on stream, I never say whether or not I'm a real dog, but I don't deny it either. So I just leave that up to the viewer. So whether or not you think I'm a real dog, that's it's up to you.
So what's on the stream? You're a talking dog, and it's different. But there's a lot of things that you can do creatively with it, like when you can make that dude dance like insanely crazy.
Yes, the doggo dances.
And, the
doggo slide, the follow slide,
and the doggo's wearing a headset.
Oh, yeah, sometimes. I haven't been using that as recently just because I think it looks a little more real not to have it. But I do use it sometimes. But sometimes I'm also pink. Sometimes I'm blue. Sometimes the panda comes out and likes to play and stuff like that. Sometimes the cat comes, hey, guys, and everything else.
There's a lot of things creatively you can do. I do a lot of facial acting when I'm streaming because I have a webcam. So I don't care when I get stream sniped and killed, but I pretend like I do. just for the enjoyment of those.
Oh yes, I mean, I will say overreacting to things on stream is, I think it's just a big thing that streamers miss out. It's just like, instead of like, oh man, that guy killed me, and then it's like, where on earth was he?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I banged the table, you know.
Yeah.
And so that's why I have a hard time streaming, because sometimes if I just want to chill and play a game to relax, I can't stream, because when I stream,
it is
I
so
have to,
different. I agree, 100%. 100%.
When people hear that I stream, they're like, "Oh, you're just playing video games." I'm like, "Man, if I just wanted to play video games, I wouldn't stream."
And I think one of the most humbling parts about streaming while playing a game is knowing that you would be way better at the game if you weren't reading chat and playing the game.
Oh, exactly.
And willingly looking bad to be able to interact and reach your chat and talk to them.
Exactly. And
It's
part
humbling.
of it's also, even if you're trying to be good, everybody knows where your character is at in the game. So if it's one of those shooting games, they know where you're at, like, because you're on their screen. Because
they don't only know where I'm at, they think it's the most fun thing in the entire world to destroy and dance on the doggo.
And you look at some streamers and they get so upset about that, but the whole idea is that we're engaging with mostly children, some adults, but mostly children.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you play Fortnite, I mean, just to be honest, I don't care who you are as a streamer. If you have at least, let's say, 50 people, you have a crazy amount of kids. I'm going to say that because I do think there are some streams that like have 10 or 15, it's all adults, whatever. But I mean, like, to get actual numbers on Twitch, you have a ton of kids watching. You just do, at least on Fortnite.
Yeah, and so that's going to lead us kind of into why I have you here. So I was sitting talking to a kid, and somebody who came up, an adult who's a leader in the church, who shall be nameless, was making fun of us because we're talking about video games and watching YouTubers and who do you like and da-da-da-da. And he's like, "Oh, video games, such a stupid thing, da-da-da-da, watching. I can't believe people watch other people play video games online, yada, yada, yada." And in my mind, I was so triggered me. Like, I was so triggered because what they don't realize is we're not just we're like watching we're more like engaging with the person that we're watching. We're more like just having a friend online that we feel like knows us in some ways, even though they might be too big of a streamer to actually know us. But there's so many kids that when I stream, for instance, and I'm like a very small streamer, when I stream, that are there all the time. And after the stream, there's a chat room on Discord where they continue to chat throughout their day. They might have like, "Oh man, I'm feeling sick today." And so there's like a prayer request thing. There might be just a, just encouraging each other and stuff like that. And I feel like that's kind of the stigma that playing video games kind of gets, is like, "Oh, that's just, I can't believe it, yada, yada, yada." But not realizing, like, one, the opportunity that's out there, and two, like, realizing that there is a huge amount of community of people online that the church isn't tapping into, and two, that parents don't realize exists.
Yeah, and it's just, people don't realize it's just an extremely, extremely social platform. Like, the reality is, if people want to just see the best clips of gameplay, I mean, I think they'll just go to YouTube just because that's where that's actually at, like the top of the top. But they go to Twitch because it's social. You want to talk to people and hang out with people. That's, I mean, really the heart and soul of Twitch.
How often do you see kids kind of looking for that friendship, community?
All the time. And you have kids that, I don't want to mention specific stuff, but they'll mention just struggles or disappointments or stuff with friends or other people all the time. And you can tell this is just like a lonely kid that just wants attention, or at the very least, just someone to care. Just all the time you have kids coming in that just are lonely, and they may not have that many friends in life and stuff.
And then you provide a platform, because there's tons of channels on Twitch. The overall majority of channels isn't going to be the positive environment that
you
find with
that's why when I first, before I launched the channel, my name was originally going to be called Sonderwoke. And Sonder is just it means the feeling that you get when you realize every person has a life as deep and complex as your own. And woke is just kind of a slang mean you're awakened to some kind of huge injustice or something huge. So anyways, it was the idea that every single username is a person and has actual value. And to combat just... I mean, I'll just be honest. If you're not familiar with online gaming, I'll be honest and say, man, the vast majority of it is extremely toxic, or some people might just say like mean. Just very, very negative atmosphere. Now that's not all of it, but the vast majority. And so part of the goal of the stream too is to really, really try hard to just cultivate a positive community. Now that being said, I don't want to just kick out every single person that's mean. Like we don't do that,
right?
But you know, as much as we can gear towards that, and it makes such a different stream and environment for people.
Well, and I don't think parents realize if they look at their kids and they're watching Twitch or YouTube and they're like, oh, they're watching video games, that's harmless, you know. And I don't think they realize that there's a bunch of like
there's a lot of really, really bad influences.
That's worse than like a rated R movie when it comes to language and content.
I'll just say I've honestly been shocked at, like, I'm talking about, like, I'm not exaggerating, like, absolutely shocked and amazed of what I've heard from, I don't want to be specific, but let's just say some streamers' mouth, not saying which platforms, but
right.
Some streamers, you know, whether it's Twitch, Mixer, or whatever, just been shocked at just some things I've heard.
Their audience is the same age as our audience, for instance. 8 to 12 years old is probably a good range for kids watching Fortnite videos, you know?
Yeah, and that being said, I have no idea what my audience's age is, because in my stream, they're not allowed to say they're aging at least 18. Because the reality is, as much as we can, we want to protect them from whatever influences may come on the stream. And so, like, in my stream, like, I couldn't give you a guess of how old they are, but yeah, I mean, I would suspect that a number of them are young.
I'm trying not to say names, but one name that Andrew and I have talked about on stream or on a podcast, I keep calling it stream now since I'm talking to a streamer. So on the podcast was Laserbeam, for instance. He's got a YouTube channel. He's one of the top YouTube guys in Australia, constantly demonetized for content not suitable that advertisers want to pay for, is basically what it comes down to. Like, hey, this is too much cussing, this is too much this or that they're not playing ads to make money because companies who advertise don't want to be associated with that. So it's that bad of a content, you know, to where companies are even like, I don't want to associate with that. But when you watch their videos, like sometimes he would play like games with kids or whatever, and you'd hear like a 8-year-old kid and Laserbeam, you're my favorite YouTube, you know, and it's just like,
correct.
How do you know this Laserbeam? Like, does your mom know that you watch Laserbeam?
Yeah,
like,
and one thing I like to add on to in my real life, because I teach tennis for a living, which means I teach a lot of kids, which means I have a lot of tennis prodigies that play Fortnite. A lot. And, you know,
yes.
whenever we just say, like, pick up tennis balls or stuff, whatever, because, you know, eventually it'll run out. We do have conversations, and I talk about video games just because that's what they're into, that's what they like. And you know, and those names, like, I'm not going to list off the names, but I can think of just the huge amount of names of certain YouTubers I've heard mentioned, and it's like, oh man, you're listening to them, dude.
Exactly.
It's just like, but I mean, like, and the parents just have no clue.
Clue. And it's one of those things where it's like they just don't think like, oh, it's just video games. Whatever.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, if you don't hear what they say, you just see, I mean, because Fortnite, man, you look at the game Fortnite, this is just fun, this is kid-friendly, and it is. I think Fortnite was an incredible thing to happen just because the game itself was super clean and super friendly. Like, it definitely was, I think.
Exactly. No blood, no, you know, any kind of that.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
I mean, just compare that to, like, I don't want to say name a game on stream, but compared to one game that was popular not long ago, I mean, it's like going from, like, the worst morality to just, like, friendliness. Now, that being said, obviously voice chats and certain troll names, okay, those are things, yeah. But apart from that,
how do you see the church missing out this opportunity, and how do you think that they could capitalize on the amount of kids looking for community online?
yeah, and what I would say is literally anyone who wants to reach the lost and people who've never heard about Jesus, you can't go do this. And so, honestly, one thing I've learned about Twitch is that, honestly, because originally at Twitch first, I thought you had to be really competitive and stuff, and that's how I started on Twitch. And I realized people really, now some people do, but there's a huge part of Twitch where being good at a game really is not that important. They really just want someone fun to interact with.
They want somebody who reads their chat so that they would get their messages read.
Like, literally just talking to people is a huge game changer for Twitch. And so, like, if anyone listening to this does have a heart to reach lost people, and, I mean, honestly, it doesn't matter if you play a game or not. Like, you can find a place on there to do that if that's what your heart is. And so I don't feel like it's anything complicated. Now, one thing I hope to do in my stream long term is find people who are able to have more in-depth discussions with people online. Because we've had a bunch of people come with huge, heavy issues related to suicide and that kind of thing. And it's so awesome that we're able to talk to them, get them with real counselors or people who can help. But the reality is, it would be so much better if we did have, solid believers to be able to talk with them, just so, because, when I'm on stream, there's 70 people talking at the same time. And so there's times where I have had to ignore chat for, a whole 5 minutes to talk to one person. But it would be a lot nicer if more believers available for that.
I believe what the church should do, and the church should react, is every children's minister at a church should be live streaming, if not for the masses, just for their local group.
That's actually an incredible idea. I've actually seen, I can think of 2 or 3 youth pastors top of my head who do that now. And literally what one guy I can think of, that's a part of what he does. He streams to reach random people. But he also does it just so anyone in his community can be stop by and talk to him. I just thought that was the most cool thing. 'Cause I never thought of Twitch as oh yeah, I'm a youth pastor, and he's in a small town kind of area, And whenever a youth wants to, they can just pop in his stream and talk to him, whenever he's live.
Exactly. So I feel like every day after school's over, youth pastors, children's ministers should just be streaming video games that the kids are going to be playing as soon as they get home.
Yeah, and I mean, just to be honest, I would absolutely rate this as the #1 most effective way to reach youth, because this is what they're doing. They're going online, watching video games, and talking to people all the time.
And connecting with people, yeah.
But I mean, okay, here's an example of this for anyone listening. So when I first started my stream, before I realized really what Twitch was, I decided to stream Roblox just for the meme, or in other words, just kind of ha, I'm playing Roblox, lol.
Yeah, and I'm a 34-year-old man currently that plays Roblox.
And I know, and I'm talking about I'm brand new. I'm brand new to Twitch, and I got flooded by I think I got 40 follows in 2 hours, and had 33 people watching me at the peak, and but that was just no one knew me, and
yeah.
Oh hey, this guy's talking to us, and I'm not joking. Back then, I have absolutely garbage Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi. I wasn't even streaming on Ethernet. My computer was horrible. I mean, my dog looked like he was starving. I'm not even joking. I had him the lowest quality, lowest fur. He does not look near as attractive as he is now. My mic, man, if I was on the mic that I was on back then, you probably wouldn't be listening to this podcast right now. It was horrible. And it's so fun to look at my old clips and thinking man, there was 30 kids sitting there watching this absolutely garbage quality stream. But the reality is I was talking to them.
Exactly.
Engaging with them. And that's really why that's the only reason they could have been there. Because the stream was horrible. It looked just bad. But
there was this Roblox game called the Epic Mini Games, and it's just the easiest, most chillest game in the world. It's a new game every 5 minutes at least. So I don't care if I did good or not. That was a game where I was just mainly talking to chat, and a random game would happen. We'd do that for like 30 seconds, then wait for the next cue, and I'd just be talking. And that's my most popular streams, is actually not playing the game.
I know. Yeah. Okay. I'll add on to that. One thing I find so funny that when I stream custom servers on Fortnite, which if you don't, it is basically I have my own server on Fortnite and people can join it. And I'm not even joking. Like, I could literally jump off the map every single round and just talk to people. I don't think the view count would change a lot.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, there's even some times where I am just so tired from working all day. I will literally go by myself. I'm trying to think how to explain solo squads to people, but I go by myself into a round. I'm like, oh, guys, I'm landing here. Who can get me first? And then just so I can die really quick in the round, just so I can rest and just chill and talk to people.
Yeah, and just
because I'm so tired. And it's like, it doesn't change the view count at all.
Yeah, exactly. Because you're engaging. Because that's what the kids are wanting. They're not looking. They're not looking for the epic gameplays. Like you said, some of them are, and there's some streamers that are really popular that don't really talk at all, don't have a face cam, don't entertain.
And that's I would honestly call it an anomaly on Twitch.
Exactly.
But I mean, to be realistic, those players are the ones that are like top best in the world. You know, I've browsed a lot of channels, and there are countless channels I have where people try that same approach. But, I mean, they're not best in the world, so literally they never break above a few viewers because they don't talk to chat, you know. And I'm not blaming them because they just want to play the game. They just want to have fun, you know.
Right.
They probably think, I might as well stream too, you know. So I'm not shaming them at all.
Exactly.
They're doing what they want to. But I'm just saying, in order to grow on Twitch, you have to be that good if you're not that interactive.
Right. And like you said, the interactive part is what people are longing for anyway on Twitch. The goal of this is just to give some parents some insights on what their kids might be actually watching, and maybe they should, you know, maybe just check out who their top people that they watch on Twitch or YouTube or Mixer.
Absolutely.
And maybe get a little bit more involved in that, because just because your kid's a great kid or whatnot doesn't necessarily mean that they're watching the right content that you would probably approve, especially nowadays with the more popular the negative streamer is, because there's a lot of them. Like, my son is 10. He knows the name PewDiePie, but I would never let him watch PewDiePie. You know, like, he's right. Not the cleanest person at all.
No, he is not. I do not believe that any 10-year-old should watch PewDiePie.
But he has 99.9 million followers.
Yes,
on YouTube.
And I would say this. If I went in my stream...
And that's not an over-exaggeration.
So if I had 100 people in my stream right now, and I asked, who watches PewDiePie? I would bet you that of the ones who responded, like, I would guess 90% or 95%
would say yes.
Would say yeah.
That's just for instance there. Like, so when they're peer pressure, negative peer pressure and positive peer pressure are both real things for kids, especially. Just because maybe you're not watching or would approve of it at home doesn't necessarily mean that they even... My son knows the name, even though he's never seen a PewDiePie
right.
video. But just because everybody talks about it, and he goes to a Christian school. So just because all his friends talk about PewDiePie or whatever, like, he just knows the name and thinks it's cool.
And I mean, watching PewDiePie is just quote-unquote cool.
Exactly.
I mean, it just is.
Because you're in this community, because you're a part of that PewDiePie community. And if you don't like PewDiePie, you're not in the club, you know? It's just that feeling.
Obviously, he's a hilarious guy, great creator, very successful, but I don't think his content's for kids.
Exactly. Yet you have tons of kids watching because parents aren't paying attention. The goal of this podcast is hopefully you guys out there can maybe check to see who your kids are watching. Maybe watch a couple of those videos yourself. Even if you're not into Minecraft, watch the freaking Minecraft streamer. Just watch one stream is all it's going to take, really. Not even a stream. Just watch one 10-minute YouTube video, and you would know right away within the first 2 minutes whether or not they're worth watching. And then I'm glad that I'll put your link for your channel, because you're somebody that I've personally watched, and your content is clean, it's valuable, And I think you've even prayed for me on occasion in your Discord app. So I do appreciate that. That's great. And you've checked in. That's the other thing is you've been a streamer where you have a prayer request line that people can put that in. And when they pop back on your stream, you ask them, hey, man, how's this situation going? And I think that's very important as a streamer, as a ministry, especially.
Oh, yeah, too. And it always speaks huge to them because it's just so funny when, because I mean, no, one thing I do have that helps a lot with Twitch, I just have a really unique way of remembering conversations. I've always creeped people out my whole life that way. They'll be like, you remember that? But I'll have people who will, no, I mean, I just have a really weird, crazy memory when it comes to that. And recently, I remember this specific incident. This guy I was playing Phantom Forces Roblox. He came in one time, talked for a little bit, and he came like 4 months later. He's like, what on earth? How do you remember me? But those things are huge to them.
Yeah, and it matters to especially kids because you're showing that they matter, and that's very important. So I challenge churches as well. This podcast, if you're a pastor, if you're just a youth leader, if you haven't have kids and you're trying to figure out, I like video games, what could I do as a ministry? This is one of those untapped things. Like there's a few out there, and I try to follow them and encourage them. That if they're praying during the stream for people, praying after the stream, that there's a few of them out there, but a vast majority very questionable, very toxic environments. And so I just challenge, if you're a Christian, you like streaming and you trying to figure out what you could do for the Lord, maybe give streaming a try. And like you said, it doesn't matter the quality of your setup, doesn't matter the quality of your talent of gameplay. They just want people to talk to. So.
Oh, and one thing I'd love to add on to it is that if you enjoy playing games, I mean, this is huge. So, some people here might think, oh, he played games his whole life and felt to do it. No, like, I quit gaming for 10 years because it was a waste of time. It just was. There's no use to it until I saw what Twitch was. And I didn't play games and then go to Twitch. I went to Twitch and started playing games. And so, like, literally, the only reason I came back into gaming was because unique reach that Twitch had. So, I mean, if you have that desire, I'd say go for it.
Yeah, man. I mean, the only thing that could happen is nobody watches. But that's even then you're playing video games, so you're having fun.
Yes.
Exactly.
No, I mean, just to be honest, one just super quick, if you start brand new, just start on a super small game. I'll just give that advice there. You'll have someone watch you.
Roblox is a good one to start on because you can find something on that platform that you actually like.
I would rate Roblox as the absolute best game to start on Twitch.
Well, all right, man, I appreciate you coming on, taking time out of your day. I know you probably have some tennis lessons coming up.
Oh, thank you.
So I'll put a link in to your YouTube, to your Twitch channel in the description below. So if anyone wants to find HypetheHusky, check him out. Even just give him a follow, even if you're not going to watch his videos. It just does help validate the stream a little bit and all that kind of stuff. So, man, I appreciate you being on.
Thank you for having me.
Do you have like a catchphrase when you leave your stream? Like, until next time, doggo out.
Yes, well, I do. I'll see y'all later.